All right, you may be seated. Good morning, Shabbat Shalom. I want to say Mazel Tov to the Amber and Sobel families. Charlotte, that was really wonderful. This was just the perfect way to have the last bat mitzvah of the Jewish year. So let me ask you: did you ever write a sermon? And the morning you were supposed to give it, you looked at the sermon and realized you didn't even understand what you were talking about? It's not a good feeling. And it happened to me about 2 hours ago. I'm looking at it like, who wrote this? And then I saw my name at the top. Well, I was trying to do something too complicated, and I think something too clever, and it had words like supernal and primordial and things like that. And I realized, I don't even care. So you're not even going to care, though you might hear it next week if I don't come up with something else. So I'm going to talk about something I do know. Apples. I love apples, but that's not really what I want to talk about, or what I should be talking about. Apples are a big part of the Rosh Hashanah imagery. We have apples and honey. A lot of the decorations are apples. Anyone know why apples of all of the any other fruit? Good, because I'm here to tell you. If you remember Adam and Eve, they ate of the fruit of the garden. What fruit does the Torah say it is? It doesn't. It doesn't say which fruit at all. It just says it's the fruit of the tree that they weren't supposed to have. But in the Middle Ages, you start getting all these paintings of Adam and Eve, and they're holding an apple. And the reason for that is that there's a kind of a strange quirk that the Latin word for apple and the Latin word for sin are the same thing. And so that's how it became the metaphor. That's why of all the fruit they picked, that must have been the one in the garden, it was the apple because it sounded like this Latin word for sin. And that's actually how it made its way into Jewish tradition too. It became so common, this idea of the apple as a symbol of Adam and Eve, that it becomes part of Rosh Hashanah, the atoning for the sin. But if you think about what Adam and Eve, what their sin was they just didn't appreciate each other. They didn't trust each other. They didn't do anything really bad to each other. They just didn't appreciate how good they had it with each other. They didn't appreciate how good they had it in Eden, and they just wanted more and more until they really lost just about everything. And only after they lost just about everything did they realize, oh, you know, we maybe should have appreciated it while we had it. That's really what Rosh Hashanah is about. It's not sin like, oh, I'm a terrible person, I'm a bad person. It's the sin of, I was given this beautiful life and I didn't appreciate it. Now, everyone has hard times, and every one of us has got a story. Being a rabbi, I hear a lot of people's stories, and everyone's got a story. No one has it completely easy, but everyone's life has potential for moments of beauty, potential for moments of meaning, of kindness, of joy. The sin of Rosh Hashanah that's symbolized with the apple is you missed your life. And that's also the punishment. Right? God doesn't stand there with a note card saying, oh, wait, they didn't appreciate their life, I'm going to do something, I'm going to zap them with lightning or something. Judaism is to a large extent self-rewarding and self-punishing. If you don't keep Shabbat, if you don't keep the Sabbath, your punishment was you didn't have a nice Sabbath. You didn't have a nice day with your loved ones. You didn't have that break from the world. If we don't appreciate our lives, we don't appreciate your families. And by the way, there are difficulties. There are very difficult people in your lives, and I get that. But most of the people in your life are okay. To be able to live an okay life is amazing. When someone cared about you, you had enough food to get through your day, that you mattered to someone. That's amazing. And instead of thinking how wonderful that is to be a human being, to be loved, and maybe not to be loved in the way that you always want or to be always understood. But if you woke up today and someone on earth cared, you have won. That's what the apple is on Rosh Hashanah. It's a reminder of how sweet life actually is when you just pay attention, when you just have gratitude. Like, bad stuff happens, but don't miss the good stuff. Shabbat Shalom.